hair.
It's just hair.
It's just hair.
It's just hair.
It's just hair. It's just hair.
Its culture, its heritage, is socially significant. It's powerful. It links us to our people. It gives us strength and holds us steady. It's important, and I'm going to tell you why. It's probably a good guess that African people have been braiding, manipulating, styling, loving, locking their hair since before recorded history. You can assume so because even in our most ancient of recorded history, we show mastery of our hair. Images on the walls of our ancient cities of Kemet, Ta-Nehisi or Nubia, Kush, and sculptures depict scenes of great rejoice when it came to taking care of one's hair. In sculptures, great detail was given to the intricate, significant hairstyles along with other physical aspects that were considered significant. After all, if you're an artist representing your people, wouldn't you accentuate the highest aspects of your culture?
There was reference made in the book Hair in African Art and Culture to Boris de Reichswels's Black Arrows, as it makes numerous references to parallels among hairstyles in sub-Saharan Africa and pharaonic Egypt. It goes on to say that, quote, unfortunately, little evidence exists to link the provocative examples observable in ancient Egypt and Nubia with many of the more recent coiffures recorded in the photographs and sculptures to be seen in this exhibition, end quote. However, my surface research revealed several very noticeable styling similarities that continues across ethnic and cultural lines of modern-day Africa. If we're going to start with Kemet and Kush, let's find correlations of hair similarities that continue today. Granted, my knowledge of ancient symbolism is elementary at best, but I don't think I need to know the inner workings of symbols to draw correlations to the images seen here with the images seen here. But I digress. This video isn't going to be about trying to prove the obvious connection to ancient Africa. In many African cultures, hair is seen as a pathway to the soul because it's the highest point on the body and therefore it's the closest to the Most High. Because of this, care of one's hair is usually only trusted to a particular family member or a close friend for the rest of your life. The reason being is that if your hair gets into the wrong person's hands, they could essentially cause you harm. It is because of this spiritual significance that great care was given to the maintenance of one's hair. Hair could be groomed for special ceremonies. In traditional African spiritualities, ceremonies and rituals are done to recognize deities, ancestors, the Most High, and are even done for special times in one's lives. During rites of passage ceremonies, hair would sometimes be shaved or cut into designs, braided, twisted, or structured. Our hair is considered as the proof, the mark of God's design, and thus is always integral in spiritual life. And it is something that is instilled from birth. Fontanel hair, for example, or patch of hair that is left on the softest part of the baby's head, serves as protection against bad spirits. Throughout sub-Saharan Africa, the cutting of a child's hair for the first time demands ritual. The baby's mother carefully keeps the cut hair in a basket, which is justified by the fear that hair, likened to the soul, may fall into the wrong hands. However, design isn't always singular. In many cases, it serves a dual purpose that straddles spirituality and ethnic identification. In many cases, hair would tell the onlooker information about what people you belong to, your stature in the community, and if you are unmarried or married. For instance, young Pule or Fulani girls wear very tight longitudinal braids going from forehead to nape, falling down the shoulders and the back, while transversal braids emerge from the side of the head. Adolescent Fulani girls have tight braids separated by symmetrical partings and a coiled tuft on either side of the head. Unmarried Wolof girls partially shave their heads while leaving a little tuft of hair on the top. In other instances, some warriors cut their hair off before going to battle, to be left with their mothers or wives. Chiefs or elders in the community would usually cover their heads to signify their importance. So as you can tell, hair is an important identifier, not just to outside people, but also within the communities. Next, let us examine the quote-unquote stuff that is used to obtain the optimal appearance of many of today's hairstyles. Ochre is used to color the hair as well as to protect one's style. The most recognizable people who use this are the Maasai. However, the Himba, Kavango, Banza, as well as other groups use this as a hair aid. Beads, shells, stones, gold, silver, shea butter, palm oil, butterfat, and vegetable fibers are some of the other things used as well. Vegetable fibers are used to extend the hair. And when we talk about this, it's important to know that hair extensions aren't a product of white colonial rule of Africa. Even the most ancient of our ancestors wore wigs and extensions. However, back in those days, the use of false hair was to obtain a different African hairstyle because some of the styles defied even real hair capabilities. Before the advent of plastic hair you can buy from beauty supply stores, African people used human hair and vegetable fibers. Men would weave the hair of their wife into their own hair to create long flowing locks. Vegetable fibers were used to extend and wrap around the hair, as seen with the Himba people. False hair was used to extend the hair over structures and was used in addition to human hair to create the Okuku wigs, as seen with these Benin queens. However, the one theme I have noticed hair extensions are used for is to create long, flowing, lock-like hairstyles like the Mbalantu of Namibia. It is a popular belief that locks originated with the Rastafarians of Jamaica. This is untrue. However, it is important to note that the Rastafarians should be given credit for reintroducing the daughters and sons of the diaspora back to the beauty of African hair. I have heard different reasonings for the lock aesthetic of Rastafarians. One is that hair is an extension of God and the soul and should not be manipulated. It needs to grow as does the roots of a tree in its natural form. Another view is that it is used to represent the mane of the Lion of Judah. In either case, it is seen as a spiritual connectiveness to the Most High. This theme is echoed in many cultures of Africa. Within the Asante culture, priests' hair was allowed to grow into long, matted locks called mpese. Priests or priestesses in anyone's culture are spiritual forces in their community. Again, the theme of hair connecting to the soul and the Most High is continued here. In Benin, Yoruba religion, Ihiaga or dreadlocks signify you as a devotee of Olokun, the deity of water. However, being born with Ihiaga, or that special curl, requires a life as a priest or priestess. More manicured looks can be seen on the Maasai and Himba peoples. Less notable groups with locks are the Fang of Gabon, the Turkana, the Mende, the Pokot, and let's not forget the Africans in the diaspora. Remember earlier when I said there was a similarity that carried across different ethnic and cultural boundaries? Well, this style seems to be the one connective fiber. As seen in the images on the ancient walls, the style of hair has continued till today. The importance of the head in African culture is seen through our love of hairstyles. The inner head is the most important part of culture and spirituality. However, I think that the design details that we give to the outer head is the one that we make manifest from the inside. According to Yoruba theology, although the physical head is highly valued because of its social and biological importance as a site of perception, communication, and identity, it is regarded as no more than the outer shell for the inner head. It is also called orioje, or external head. The desire for the harmony between the two aspects of the head is expressed in the popular prayer, Orienu mi komabatiodeje. May my inner head not spoil my outer one. It is my belief that this style is an attempt to reach the Most High, an antenna, if you will. Maybe if the people who wear it have lost the original meaning, the soul has not. As African people, we have continued to cultivate the art of hair, even if we don't know why we do it. As Africans in the diaspora whose history and culture has been stripped, stolen, raped, It's a wonder that any of us know anything about who we are. It is even more amazing that something so simple as hairstyling was non-existent in our diasporan culture for many hundreds of years. But when given the freedom to explore identity through hair, we have continued a legacy, a history, a culture. It is my belief that we should never discredit hair in our culture as something insignificant. It's an identity that I am proud of, and you should be too. For my ancestors and for the future generations, I will be the continued legacy. It's not just hair. Ashe.